Fox College Hoops brings us to the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, the home of the Marquette Golden Eagles. And this afternoon, they bring in the #1 team of the nation, the Villanova Wildcats. The new Big East now in year 5, and Villanova sitting atop the standings trying to win their 5th consecutive Big East title in the new Big East. Brian Anderson with Lynn Elmore. And we start our day with some news, major injury news on the nation's #1 team. And for more on that, we check in with Shannon Spake. Shannon.
Hey there, Brian. That's right. News broke on Wednesday that Villanova veteran guard and team captain Phil Booth is out indefinitely after breaking his right hand in the win against Providence Tuesday night. Now, Booth has a cast on that hand. He did not have to have surgery, however. And Jay Wright told us about an hour ago, this is the good news, that he hopes to have Booth back by the Big East tournament. However, Wright did stress the word hope because he knows it just depends on how quickly that hand does heal. But he does hope that his team responds to not having one of the most respected guys on the entire squad not on that court here today. Brian?
All right, Shannon, thank you. Great reporting there. And Len, the fact that there is that open window for Booth to return is important for Villanova. It's still a team with plenty of firepower.
Yeah, and obviously Booth's loss hurts their depth for sure. Averaging 12 points a game, second playmaker and a solid defender. Now, Dante DiVincenzo, who's been playing great of late, their energizer off the bench, will start, but the extra burden of minutes is going to fall on 2 freshmen, Demir Cosby-Roundtree as well as Colin Gillespie. We'll see if they're up to the task. But the bad news for Marquette is that player of the year in the Big East, Jalen Brunson, is still going to play. And this young man is obviously consistent, efficient, and near flawless. You saw what he did in the last game between these two. 3-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. He is the maestro. And for Marquette, just as consistent as Jalen Brunson is, that's how explosive Marcus Howard is. He leads the conference in scoring, 5 games with 30 or more points, and you see the last time they played Nova, he lit it up.
And they are in our Geico player to watch. Jalen Brunson averaging 18-8, 7th in the conference. And as Lynn just mentioned, Howard at 22-1 leading the conference. Marquette has the top 2 scorers in Howard and Rousey. Note the change on the Jeep starting lineups. Harry Froling gets the start for Marquette. That means Matt Helt's streak of 22 in a row is over. And we are ready to play ball here at the Bradley Center. It is rocking inside the Bradley Center in downtown Milwaukee. Tony Chiazza will put it up, and Villanova will control. Great to have you with us this afternoon. What a day of basketball we have for you on Fox. We got Purdue and Indiana coming up next, and Dante DiVincenzo hits the first bucket for the Cats.
Well, we said he's hot. The 6th starter is now a 5th starter. And you see the pressure applied. Villanova certainly wants to keep the ball out of Marcus Howard's hands, or at least limit his opportunities.
Second matchup of the year as Rousey finds some space and gets the scoring started for the Golden Eagles. Earlier this month, on January 6th, Nova beat Marquette 100-90. Marquette put 56 points on the board in the second half. And Jay Wright talking about the offensive prowess of this team as DiVincenzo has come out roasting hot. He's hit his first 2.
And remember, he's being guarded by Marcus Howard. Villanova's strategy obviously is to go right at Howard. That's another way to get a great score out of the game.
I like your point, though, Lynn, about DiVincenzo. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to bring a lot. He's one of the best 6 men. As Froling springs 3, nice pickup. And a beautiful setup from Howard.
Oh, that was outstanding spacing on that screen and roll, and very important to get Harry Froling started. Biggest guy on the floor, got plenty of potential, but just hasn't fulfilled it yet.
Transfer from SMU, missed the first 10 games of the year as he was waiting to become eligible. Froling. Back to the DiVincenzo point, Lynn. Here's a guy that gives you a lot off the bench. So you start to go down the layers as Spellman bullies his way in. And that's going to be a block or a hold on Froling. So Jay Wright has depth issues to begin with. Now he's without Booth. And those 2 freshmen you mentioned are going to be key today for him.
Yeah, they are. And plus the question mark we mentioned, Dante DiVincenzo was Jay Booth's kind of safety blanket when his team starts off slowly. No matter how much time has elapsed, he would put DiVincenzo in, and he would pick the team up. Now that he's a starter, if they get off to a slow start, who's coming in to be the energizer?
Offensive foul. Steve Wojciechowski now in year 4. Longtime assistant under Coach K at Duke. A couple of national championships as an assistant there. Of course, a great player at Duke as well. One-time defensive player of the year for the Blue Devils. And he's got this program going the right direction. Made it to the NCAA tournament last year. First time as a head coach. Here's Rousey. Short. Sakar Anum keeps it alive, and that's a push on Villanova. And it'll stay on this side of the floor. Look like they got Pascal on the fouls.
Yeah, Anum quicker to the ball than Pascal. But you also see, again, Villanova willing to switch out, use some of their perimeter bigs to guard those diminutive but explosive guards for Marquette, hoping that their reach gets in the way.
Yeah, these two officials coming together, and the call was on DiVincenzo. One official, Pat Driscoll, had it on DiVincenzo. The other, Chiazza, had it on Pascal. And they'll turn it over. Now, this matters right here because this would have been the second foul on DiVincenzo, but they changed it. Pascal gets the call, so each with one apiece.
Yeah, I mean, Pascal with the body, and that's why I said that Anum beat him to the basket, and he wound up grabbing Anum instead of the ball.
Jalen Brunson, checked by Rousey. But you'll see Marquette today. They will switch everything.
Look at that move.
And Brunson gets to the rack. So strong.
Isn't it something when your best post player with the best moves inside is your point guard? And I think the officials bring these guys together and say, you know, play it clean. But you take a look at Brunson. He just took Rousey into the kitchen and cooked them. And you see Rousey with a little bit of push. Brunson might have said something, but cooler heads have to prevail. They don't want to ruin this game. This is going to be a good one.
There is almost no doubt that Rousey is going to be involved in some kind of verbal altercation at some point today. That's part of his game. Froling gets out of the double team. Howard moves it around. Ball's moving well, and now Rousey too strong, and there's Brunson with a rebound.
Rousey has to resist, trying to shoot over the bigger Nova guards when they switch out.
DiVincenzo 3 for 3. Left him wide open. What a start for Dante.
And I meant the bigger defenders when they switch out. He's got to resist that. Got Pascal on him now. Get the ball moving.
Froling down in the paint, and the reverse is good. He's a big man, Len. He's not necessarily known for exceptional post moves, but that was good work in the paint right there by Froling.
Yeah, and I mentioned the potential, and Steve Wojciechowski has told me in the past, he doesn't want Froling to lose confidence and think that he can't do something.
So in your mind, you go with Froling instead of Matt Helt if you're Steve Wojciechowski. Why is that?
Well, because Froling more of a on-the-block player. Down low, he puts a lot of pressure on the Villanova defense, and we've seen him right now several times take the ball down low and get high percentage shots.
Little heat check from DiVincenzo. Pascal with the offensive board. Villanova has another run here on this side of the floor. Good start to this one. This figures to be a very high-scoring game, and you figure to see a lot of three-pointers in this game as well. Here comes a three, and Dante hits another one. DiVincenzo with a quick 10 out of the gates.
Well, it's an outstanding read by the Villanova offense, because down low, Marcus Howard is caught between guarding the guy off the roll from the high screen as well as the guy in the corner. You make the right pass, and somebody's going to get a wide-open shot.
First made 3 of the game. We might see 50 three-point attempts here today. And there's another one. The answer by one of the deadliest three-point shooters in the game today, and Marcus Howard.
You don't want to get him started, particularly in a catch-and-shoot situation with no challenge.
Howard scored 52 points against Providence on January 3rd. He's had some big games. Went for 37 against Villanova on the 6th of January, just a few weeks ago. Pascal working on Hauser. Strong to the hole.
Well, Spellman really with a nice job going strong to the basket.
Howard trying to get by DiVincenzo. High off the window. Spellman denied it. Here's Froling.
Oh, you got to go back up with that big fella.
Howard for 3. That's not a bad option either.
Not really. You're right. And he knew what side of the bread the butter was on.
That's right. When in doubt, find Marcus Howard. And they're on their feet. And a foul on Rousey will take us to our first timeout. What a great start. DiVincenzo red hot.
Well, we talk about Dante DiVincenzo. 16 double-figure games, including 11, now 12 consecutively. But don't forget that man, Mr. Howard.
Fox College Hoops is sponsored by the Lincoln Continental. Beautiful day here in Milwaukee over at Red Arrow Park. A little ice skating. And a man who is anything but cold is Dante DiVincenzo. What a start. 10 early points, Lynn Elmore.
Yeah, as I said, came in here with 11 consecutive double-figure games. Now he's got 12. And a guy who's normally off the bench and inserts energy whenever Jay Wright feels his team is lagging, has come out with the energy, getting some nice spot-ups, opportunities off the penetration. And you talk about bringing the energy. This young man really injects it into that 5.
Well, he has some scoring ability. Went for 25 against St. John's back on the 13th of January. Also had another 25-point game last season. But this is where things get interesting now for Villanova with DiVincenzo on the bench, and you start to tap into that depth minus Phil Booth, who is out with a fractured hand.
Well, right now it's Connor Gillespie who's inbounding the ball, and he missed 8 games because of a fracture in his hand. You know, something that has plagued Villanova throughout this season. And this is only his 4th game back, but he's going to be asked to give up those extra minutes.
Matt Held is in for Marquette, with Spellman going to work down in the paint. Held stands tall. And here come the Golden Eagles. Howard's hit back-to-back threes. And Howard with plenty of range. One and done for Marquette.
And again, the length of the guards on the defenders on the perimeter give the trouble to the shooters for Marquette.
Pascal sets up Gillespie, not there. Elliott kept it alive for Held. Howard on the move, always wanting to push in transition. Howard has a great inside game as well. That was partially blocked.
Again, the length of Mikal Bridges bothered the last one, blocked this one.
Brunson scores it, and one for Jalen Brunson, taking the contact like a man.
This is a great advantage Villanova has. Guards like Mikal Bridges with long arms, able to give room and still stay with the quickness of Marcus Howard. And on the other end, like I said, change of speed, utilizing that left hand, taking the bump, still able to finish. That's Jalen Brunson in a nutshell.
Brunson will shoot one here, trying to cap off a 3-point trip. Jay Wright is going small now as Gillespie stays on the floor. DiVincenzo comes right back in for Pascal. And Villanova will try to take it a little smaller here and run a little bit. Also, Demir Cosby-Roundtree on the floor.
And BA, I could see Rousey eyeing Marcus Howard being guarded by freshman Gillespie, looking to maybe try to take advantage.
Here's Annam. Doesn't give him much scoring, but goes to the hole that time, and that's going to be a foul on Marquette. And Annam will be called for the foul. Villanova balls.
Yeah, Marcus Howard gave that ball up, but you can see right from the inbound, Rousey's looking at Howard, hoping to draw eye contact because they recognize they got the young, inexperienced freshman on him.
Annam will sit. Into the game for Marquette is Jamal Cain on his birthday, and he's on the floor with Gillespie. Rousey comes in to try to dig it out. It is loose. It is officially rugby right now, and Rousey comes away with it.
Great hustle by Jamal Cain to get on the floor after Gillespie fumbled.
Rousey pulls up, got it.
So it wasn't Howard, it was Rousey trying to take advantage of young Colin Gillespie.
Gillespie, the true freshman from the Philly area. Brunson finds DiVincenzo, a little pump fake, and Rousey fouls him. That's number 2 on Rousey. And Wojo's got some early decisions to make here with 13-16 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even a question about that foul. On the drive, Rousey put both hands on the offensive player, and obviously that rule has been in place for a long time. These folks should probably recognize that.
So Gillespie exits, and back in is Pascal for Villanova. One of Wright's favorite lineups here when they go small. Pascal on Hauser. Woo, nice. In the lane. Gets a little room for himself.
Yeah, Villanova on offense is going to try to use their quickness off the bounce.
Brunson fouls Howard. Part of the new emphasis this year in college basketball. The freedom in dribbling and an easy call.
That's right.
Harry Froling back in. You see both coaches, Lynn, with a ton of substitutions here early in this game. We're just 7 minutes into this thing, and everybody's getting a quick feel.
Well, they're looking for matchups that are quality for them. And I'll tell you what, you can't allow Marcus Howard to drive to his left. He can do so many things.
As Gillespie comes right back in. And Froling will get the foul. Sets the heavy screen. And it's going the other way.
Yeah, he extended the width of that screen. You're only allowed to have your feet shoulders width apart. And from the instep, that's how wide you can set. Anything more than that, the officials are going to call.
Well, Froling will sit. Let's check in here with Shannon. She's got more on why Froling is in the starting lineup today.
Yeah, certainly his size is a benefit, but Wojo told us yesterday that he's just really practiced really well this past week. He said he wanted to reward guys who practice well because that's something they really need to ramp up.
It's a good point, too, because Froling, you got to remember, is still, he's in practice shape, not necessarily game shape, but at least each passing week. As he missed the first 10 becoming eligible after transferring. It'll be curious to watch him today.
Yeah, and it also fits into what, as I said, Wojo has said in the past. He doesn't want Froling to lose his confidence.
Theo John pulls down the board, can't finish. John, a big body freshman, gives him a little rebounding. Gillespie right back in there. Villanova leading the country in fractured hands. They've had 3 of them this year. Here's Pascal. Oh, knocks it down. Good looking stroke.
And he is now 13 for 45 from beyond the arc. And that's a young man that began the season 1 for his first 23 from beyond the arc. But he never stopped shooting, and he's found the range, no question.
Top 3 teams in the Big East, 3-pointers per game. Villanova, Marquette, and Creighton in that order. Villanova gets up over 30 a game. And a little teardrop by Howard.
And what hand did he use?
Right hand. Good call.
Went to his left.
Went to his left on the dribble. The shot with it right. I'm with you now.
Okay.
Force him to his right.
You got to force him right because he can do so many things going left, even though he's a right-hander.
I feel like I just failed to coach Elmore. I'm going to have to run laps now. Pascal, double team. Nowhere to go. Blocked by Hauser.
You get partial credit, man. He did use his right hand.
Kane. Oh! Finish it with a foul. Jamal Kane will go to the line and a chance at 3 and a timeout on the floor. The birthday boy.
Yeah, Marquette, an outstanding offensive team, particularly in transition. And Jamal Kane is an example.
Date, first time Marquette had ever beaten a #1 in the regular season. And Shannon Spake, Steve Wojciechowski urged his fans to come out, and they've done it again in year 2.
That's right, guys. He actually said the last 5 minutes of that game last year was the best he has ever felt in this place. In fact, he wrote a letter. This is the letter, and he had it emailed out to all of the fans. He's never done that before, and he hasn't done it since. He said everyone on the court could feel the energy from the fans, and he wanted to thank them for contributing to that victory.
It's beautiful penmanship as well. You got to give a guy credit who still writes in cursive.
Does anybody write anymore? Get on that computer, man.
All right, here is Jamal Kane, who will try to cap off a 3-point trip down the floor. And yikes.
They barely drew iron, but 50% free throw shooter. I guess you expect that.
It was a great finish at the rim for the Deuce, but a free throw that might rattle someone, especially a freshman. Keep an eye on him. And Brunson with a quick pull off the window, and he comes up hobbling. Hits the 3, but might have tweaked his ankle coming down.
Yeah, he saw Theo John on him, knew that John was going to back off, and that's why he took that shot. Mismatched the other way.
Villanova 4 for 7 from behind the arc. There's a block. Great block by Bridges. And now Bridges will pull and pop. Yes. Defense turned into offense.
That's a big-time play by a big-time player. A guy that they're looking at on the next level as somebody who can contribute with that length and athleticism.
There are a ton of NBA scouts here today. As John misses, gets his own. Now lost it. Brunson on the move. Brunson goes by and trying to go with the right hand is fouled by Hauser. And Brunson on the attack to shoot free throws.
A scary moment for Villanova as you see lands on John's right foot. Left foot on his right foot. And kind of tweaks that ankle. Oh, my goodness.
A Zaza Pachulia kind of move. As Brunson lands on that foot.
But the one thing that you'd hate to be is that big fella in the paint with Jalen Brunson bearing down on you. Because he gets you on your heels, can change direction, and ultimately will draw the foul, if not knock it down.
Well, Brunson, a 76% free throw shooter. Villanova, as a team, is good. They're in the top half of the conference, shooting at 76%. Brunson 7th in the league right now in scoring at 18-8. He's 3rd in the conference in assists per game, and he's off to a good start. This is an 11-4 Villanova run, and they pushed it into double digits.
And again, Bridges on the point of that pressure. Almost, he got a deflection, almost another steal. And you just look at his reach. It is almost impossible to get something past him.
Greg Elliott, the freshman. And in the corner, that's Hauser who hits a three. 3rd make for Marquette from behind the arc. They live and die from back there.
Yeah, Sam Hauser, 15 points a game, shooting over 50% from beyond the arc. And he is a guy who can definitely stretch defenses as bigs have to come out and guard him.
His first shot of the game is true. Nova getting into their offense, and Brunson wants to post up Howard. Kicks it. Pascal for 3. Yes. Pascal has 8. All set up by Brunson. Howard kicks it to Hauser. Here's Kane now on the drive. And Kane trying to give it to Held, who vacated the area. That'll be a turnover. This is where Nova is so good.
Nice move.
And Pascal goes strong to the hole with a little crossover.
Jalen Brunson's not the only one who can shake and bake.
Big run for the Cats. #1 team in the nation, playing well on the road.
They came out of nowhere, sir.
How many of them?
We don't know. Dozens.
All right, let's teach these freaks some manners.
Good luck out there, Captain.
Thanks, but I don't need luck. I have skill.
I don't have my keys. All hands, we are looking for the captain's keys again. They are on a silver carabiner.
Oh, this is bad.
As long as people misplace their keys, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Big East basketball sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. 33-21 Villanova on the road. Second matchup with Marquette this year. Trying to make it a clean sweep of the Golden Eagles for Jay Wright. So wins against Villanova. Butler has 3 of them, believe it or not. Marquette beat them last year, about a calendar year ago. And Jay Wright, without Phil Booth, one of his leaders, out with a fractured hand. This team is playing well. 69-10 Villanova in the Big East over this terrific run. They're trying to win their 5th straight Big East championship in the reorganized Big East. Of course, the national championship in there as well 2 years ago. Here's Howard. Goes to the rack, scores it easily.
And it looks as though Villanova keeps forcing him left as if to say that he's got a weak hand there. And I think they need to rethink that strategy. That young man, when he puts it on the floor to the left, he drives all the way. He can pull up and step back. He does so many more things utilizing his left hand off the dribble than he does in his right.
Bridges dumps it down inside. Spellman turns it over.
Look at Jalen Brunson. He gets up on his right hand as if to take it away. And, you know, that's asking to get burned.
Looking for a little help underneath. One thing we noticed with Xavier matching up against Marquette, that was their last game on Wednesday. It looked like they were chasing him off the line okay with Marcus Howard scoring in the paint, and Howard went for 33 points, but really nobody else got involved in that game. And Xavier won it as Froling gets one from inside.
Yeah, Froling with that soft touch recognizes if he can just get it up on the rim, somehow he's going to find some luck.
Froling, a 6'11" sophomore. He's an Australian from Townsville, Australia. Transfer from SMU. He could be a factor here down the stretch run for Marquette as he gets familiar with his program. Brunson takes Howard strong to the hole. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, I just like the way Villanova targets guys. And their best scorer for Marquette has to play defense.
Minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Milwaukee River all frozen. Downtown Milwaukee. A moment ago, we had a chance to listen in to Steve Wojciechowski.
It's a long game. It is a long game. You guys, you do not get dismayed at anything. Just keep chopping wood. They will get tired. They will get tired. Just keep chopping wood. Look, let's make Brunson work a little bit to bring the ball up the floor.
Well, just chopping wood means to continue to execute, but more than anything, they want to neutralize Villanova's big scorer, Jalen Brunson. He's got 9, and they have to find a way to slow him down. They may not be able to throw a blanket on him, so Steve Wojciechowski says make him work, particularly when he has the ball pushing it up the floor on offense.
Well, Wojciechowski has seen it game after game. His 2 guards, the top 2 scorers in the Big East, but they are vulnerable on defense. They are short of stature, and a guy like Brunson is picking them apart. So now we will see how Marquette does try to make Brunson work. He has a free throw, 2 of them as a matter of fact. And trying to put Villanova back up double digits. 19-1 the Wildcats right now, 6-1 in conference play. They are the #1 team in the nation. It is the 6th time in the last 7 weeks they have sat atop the national rankings. In comes Demir Cosby-Roundtree, and Brunson will get a breather here with 7:21 left. We'll see how long he sits.
It's almost like Jay Wright was in Steve Wojciechowski's huddle. He decided to get Brunson out of there so he doesn't have to work as hard.
Here's Howard for 3. And he gets a friendly bounce. He checked the 9-iron on the green.
Yeah, and that time 1 bounce to the right, and he's going to pull up and take the jumper. That you can anticipate. It's when he goes left that is so much more variable.
He's having another big day here. 13 points for Marcus Howard. Gillespie will run the point. Normally an excellent ball handler is Colin Gillespie, but he's playing with that fractured hand. So his skills diminished a little bit. Goes to his right hand. This is where he has trouble with the left. Pascal takes Hauser. Hauser right with him. And it's out of bounds off of Howard. That'll be Nova ball. Shot clock didn't reset. It's at 1.
Hauser did a terrific job of not allowing Pascal to actually turn the corner to get to the basket. Forced him to go to the baseline.
Villanova, without Brunson on the floor, is an interesting team to watch, especially when Phil Booth is not available. Got it off in time, and that's going the other way. So that'll be a foul. They're going to call that on Cosby-Roundtree. Second foul on Cosby-Roundtree.
6th on Villanova. The next one puts Marquette in the bonus.
Marquette, an excellent free throw shooting team as well. Poked away.
Look at those
Bridges again. McHale taking on Howard.
That's 2 on him. That's 2 on him.
And that'll be a 2-shot foul as Mikal Bridges comes up limping. Second foul on Marcus Howard.
And you could hear somebody on the Villanova side saying that's 2 on him, recognizing that maybe they've gotten Marcus Howard out of the game right now for this half.
And it looks like that will be the case. Greg Elliott soon to be checking in. Rousey with 2 fouls. Froling with 2 fouls. And now Howard with 2 fouls. And the change will be made as Howard will exit with 13 points.
It's a critical time right now for Marquette, even though we got 6 minutes left, 6:20 left in the first half, to see from where the scoring's going to come. That's why Froling's confidence is so important right now. They got an opportunity to explore inside and out instead of just playing perimeter.
Froling and Sam Hauser make up the front court. Rousey gives it to Rousey. Both Froling and Hauser can step out and shoot. So they are stretch 4s and 5s. And now Rousey draws contact. He'll shoot 3. Pascal with the foul will put a lights-out free throw shooter on the line.
Now again, principle of verticality. Now you see how Pascal jumps forward. Rousey does as well. That's not his natural, per se, shooting. But nevertheless, Pascal broke that plane of verticality and it allows Rousey to be able to do what he did just then.
Rousey.
There are times, I'm sorry, B.A., there are times when guys are jumping 3 and 4 feet towards the defender and still getting a call, and I thought they eliminated that.
He was well behind the line, so 3 for Rousey. Rousey, a 90% free throw shooter, second best in the conference behind his teammate Marcus Howard. Howard's only missed 2 free throws all year and didn't miss one until the last game against Xavier on Wednesday. So these 2 guys not only scored from behind the arc, but they get to the line often as well. And Rousey hits all 3. 7 points for Rousey as Howard 6. Under 6 minutes to go, and this crowd trying to help out their Golden Eagles. Brunson back on the floor. Has 11 points. Here's Bridges on the take and lays it in. Draws the contact. And Mikal Bridges starting to put some roots down in this game.
Well, you can see Steve Wojciechowski really exhorting his team as far as the defense is concerned and the help. And that time Sam Hauser kind of lost on the drive. He started looking behind him instead of stepping up trying to stop Bridges' advancement to the rim.
Bridges top 10 scorer in conference play. 16-7 a game. He's got 7 now, and he has taken over here in the last 5 minutes. Jamal Cain in for Elliott, freshman for freshman. Rousey will run the point. Rousey pulls. Yes. Quick release. 10 points for Rousey now.
And the goal right now is to make Brunson work, pushing it up the floor. And that's what Sakar Adam is supposed to do. And then when he gets rid of it, not let him get it back.
Brunson runs into Hauser. Now Villanova gets into their offense. Hauser, much longer defender on Brunson. Brunson gives him a move. Started. Out of bounds. That'll be Villanova ball. 5 on the shot clock.
And right now, Jay Wright's got to be concerned that Brunson is forced to go one-on-one with a guy that's about 6 inches taller than he is, instead of the ball movement that Villanova's known for.
Hauser goes a little over 6'8". Brunson listed at 6'3". I'd say he's a shade under 6'3". 5 on the shot clock. Another late clock out of bounds set piece for Villanova. Missed a 3 their first time around. Bridges trying to turn the corner, does so. Oh, and a foul. I think it was late. It looked late. Boy, follow jam. Watch the number on the board? Yeah, they hit 0. They will take a look. Pat Driscoll immediately goes to the monitor. And the 0 to the right.
He's still got it in his hand. Right there. Let's see it again. 0, ball still in his hands. Nobody.
And it's usually the number. Ideally, you go on your ears as well, but in an arena like this that's so loud, your eyes are going on that shot clock. And no basket officially. They wave it off. I feel like Jeffrey Anderson sold the wave off much better than Pat Driscoll right there. He went from the Dick Bavetta style point wave off.
They practice that in the mirror, man. Emphatic.
Gonna give him my best wave off call. So Marquette ball down 6.
Now again, Marquette successful getting Rousey moving without it because Gillespie's been late. This is the same play they ran on the last Rousey make.
Rousey looking for the screen from Hauser. 2-man game. Well, Gillespie doing a nice job on Hauser. Oh, good pass, good cut. Adam finishes. 11-5 run for Marquette.
And it's been the movement without it. Rousey coming around a screen, and then the find by Hauser down low.
Brunson gets by Adam. Nice lead. Oh, a missed dunk.
Look at that hustle.
Here's Mikal Bridges now for 3. Comes up short. Kay with a rebound. Missed opportunity from Villanova. Now this crowd continues to be a factor here. They are revved up. Biggest crowd they've had all year. Kane. And now Rousey. Cosby Roundtree on him. Pulls a 3. Hauser the board. New 30. Quick pull. Kane hits. And Marquette has cut the deficit to 1. What have you seen from the Golden Eagles?
Well, it's all about moving without it, forcing the defense to take a look. And you take a look at the cutters. When you got guys that are willing to pass the ball, they're not rushing. They're going to survey the defense and find the open man. And that's exactly what we saw. And here on the offensive rebound, it's a nice job of getting it to a shooter. And Kane does the rest. Marquette's movement without it, their ability to rebound offensively has gotten them within 1 point of the #1 team in the nation.
This was a 10-point game just 4 minutes ago on the game clock. Villanova had a 35-25 lead with 7:21 left. Marquette on a 14-5 run. And we'll see how Villanova answers. DiVincenzo is back on the floor. Gillespie on as well, with Brunson running the point. DiVincenzo playing with 2 fouls.
And it's been the ineffectiveness of the Villanova offense that's forced Jay Wright to kind of roll the dice a little bit and put DiVincenzo in the ballgame despite the 2.
Wojciechowski has put much longer defenders on Brunson. First it was Hauser, now Adam. Here's DiVincenzo, got off for a quick 10, and he misfires. And now Marquette a chance to take the lead. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
And no exploration inside by Villanova, which puts no pressure on the Marquette defense.
Rousey, the primary scorer here with this group for Marquette. Gillespie, an excellent defender. And he knocks it off of Rousey, almost over and back. Calling a deflection there. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Kane for 3. Oh! Back-to-back triples for Jamal Kane.
Well, he's a 40% shooter from beyond the arc, so he's supposed to do that. And he puts his team in the lead for the first time this afternoon.
Brunson working on Adam. Quiets down this crowd, and that's why you have a guy like Jalen Brunson. making a strong case for Big East Player of the Year.
And I call him the maestro because so many things happen. But when you need a solo, he's right there.
That ends an 11-0 Marquette run. How about Kane 3 times? No good. Froling keeps it alive. Another chance here for Marquette. Rousey probing. Dumps it down. Froling. Froling is 4 for 4. 8 points for the big Aussie.
And what did I tell you about his presence inside really gives Villanova problems as they kind of suffered throughout the year against bigs who can play down low.
Gillespie hits a 3 and is fouled. A beautiful setup by DiVincenzo with a bullet pass. The 3 goes and 1 more coming.
And you talk about frustration. Look at the ball movement, penetration, inside out. There's the foul just on the elbow. And look at Steve right there. You talk about frustration. You foul, first of all, you leave him open. And then you foul the jump shooter on a 3. And he makes it.
And pick up your 3rd foul. And Rousey will sit with Howard coming back on with 2 fouls at 1:21 left. A huge momentum swing here on the road for Villanova, and the freshman Colin Gillespie cannot complete the 4-point play. Nova in the lead. Marquette with the ball. Howard's hit a couple of 3s already. Got the mismatch, trying to get around Spellman. Does so with a quick release. And Froling. It's going to be a foul on Froling, and that'll be Villanova ball. His 3rd. Fouls are starting to stack up for Wojciechowski now. It's going to put Villanova on the line.
Villanova actually is shooting a double bonus now. 10th team foul on Marquette at a point when, you know, they were just making their move, if you will.
Wojo getting a look at the replay board up above. And you can see his reaction. Disagrees.
Well, a little bit. I mean, Froling did have both hands in the back, as I recall, of Mikal Bridges. And all you need is a little bit of a push.
Bridges shoots it well. He's up over 80% from the line. And he hits the 1st.
Well, we can be the judge. There's Froling there. Take a look at both hands on his back. And it's just ever so slight, but the official calls it.
2 free throws. Boy, the last 2 trips down the floor for Villanova have gotten this crowd quiet. The big 3 by Gillespie. Now the 2 free throws. See if Marquette has an answer. Howard, he's their answer man. He cannot hit. Looking for a foul.
As I said, not as effective going right.
Brunson gets by King.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Shakes himself free. And Brunson scores again. 14 for Jalen Brunson.
About a 6-second differential between the shot and game clock. And Steve Wojciechowski wanted his guys to slow it down, get a good last shot in this half.
These 2 teams combined for 190 points just a few weeks ago in Philly. Annam travels. Marquette turns it over, and now Villanova will have a chance at the final possession.
You like the thought. The problem was the execution. As Annam made a nice move, but he slid the feet.
Marquette jumped out ahead 44-42. They have not scored since. Been a 7-0 Villanova run. And a chance to get the last shot up. It'll be Brunson. The lefty comes up short. And that's how it will end. Entertaining first half. Marquette made a big run. Nova finishes on a 7-0 run, and they go to the halftime locker room up 5.
Yeah, it was that 7-0 run that really get Villanova back in the lead and back in control. But you can't argue with the effort from Marquette coming back.
See the first half numbers. Excellent shooting for both teams. The three-pointers are going as well. We check in with Shannon with Jay Wright.
Coach Wright, I've seen you get visibly upset about the fact that they've been able to get open underneath that basket so many times. Defensively, how did your guys adjust to that?
We are playing no defense, none. It's actually an embarrassment, but they're good. They're really good offensive. They make it tough on you, but we got to be much better defensively.
You knew that there were some questions that you were going to have answered in the first 20 minutes without Phil Booth out there. What have you seen?
We miss him a lot, especially defensively. He's a veteran. He's really intelligent. We're getting confused on a lot of different actions that they're running that he would be able to handle.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
And our thanks to Jay Wright. Villanova has the lead, 49-44. After this break, we'll join Kevin Burkhardt, Casey Jacobson, and Donnie Marshall. They're in LA for the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. #1 team in the nation. Live wire crowd, intense first half as you take a look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee stat comparison. Both teams shooting it well. A lot of three-pointers get up as well. And it is interesting, Lynn Elmore, that Villanova goes on a 7-0 run to finish that first half to quiet down this crowd a little bit. But it all started with our news of the day and Phil Booth not being here. How do you feel like Villanova has held up?
Well, Dante DiVincenzo, the energy guy off the bench, had to start today, and he injected energy quickly, 10 quick points. But when he got in foul trouble, Jalen Brunson had to come to the rescue, and obviously he's the guy that makes things happen for Villanova, kept them close. Marquette, though, on the other hand, they've got an added dimension right now. That's the inside dynamic, and Harry Froling has done a terrific job, 4 for 4 from the field, and he has really put some pressure on the Villanova defense, and that's why we are where we are right now in a very close game.
Well, you figure depth is going to be a discussion here. Some foul trouble for Marquette. Moving forward, second half, how do you see this playing out?
Well, the three most effective players for them have foul trouble. Obviously, Froling, Marcus Howard, and Andrew Rousey have either 3 or 2 fouls. And those guys are going to have to continue to play at a high level, play with energy, but they have to avoid fouls. Particularly when we're talking about Froling and Rousey. They get their 4th, they're going to be sitting for a while.
10 points for Andrew Rousey, coming off his last 2 games where he had 8 points and 11 points total. Jalen Brunson was able to squash the Marquette rally that ended at 11-0, ended up as 13-2 as Villanova went on a 7-0 run to finish the half. And it'll be Marquette ball as we start the second half. Second matchup of the year between the Golden Eagles and the Wildcats. Villanova won the first one a few weeks back. Remember, Marquette beat Villanova on this floor last year. Rousey steps to the side, buries the triple to start the second half scoring.
Rousey seems to be right on the money right there. You look at his face and see the determination. But Spellman, in closing on Rousey, he's got to learn. He doesn't have to go all the way. He's got to stay on his feet as well. Use his length to thwart Rousey's jumper.
Rousey had been in a shooting slump. Shooting below 30% from the field and from behind the arc. Now a defensive play. Scatters Villanova. 7 on the shot clock. And here's Spellman. No. And Adam throws it between his legs to save it. Here comes Marquette. Rousey draws contact. 3 free throws coming for Rousey. Second time he's done that.
And it's a hard discipline to learn. But as I mentioned on Spellman, the same thing with Brunson. Stay on your feet. You know, Andrew Rousey is 5'11". He's a terrific shooter. But why foul him back there? Challenge him with your arms in the air. Stay on the ground, and you got better luck.
We heard Jay Wright on his way to the halftime locker room. Shannon has a report on Steve Wojciechowski from the Marquette locker room. What do you have, Shannon?
Well, I wish it was more positive. So visibly disappointed with all of the fouls in the first half. Certainly the story, his 2 lead scorers in foul trouble. They have 5 total in that first half. But he said, we have to continue to play aggressive. We can't be passive against Villanova. We just have to be smarter defensively. He said, I know that there's no way that we're going to be able to stop Villanova from scoring. We have to just, quote, try to make them miss some more shots. That's easier said than done, though, guys.
Good call, Shannon. And 3 free throws for Rousey has this crowd back up. 16 points for Andrew Rousey, this dynamic backcourt of Marquette. They can score quickly. There's a foul as Bridges goes to the hole. Len, I thought Bridges in that swing, we're talking about the comeback of Villanova at the end of the first half. Bridges was one of the key scorers in that run, scored 7 of his 9 first-half points in the last 6 minutes.
Yeah, and when you look out on the floor, Bridges presents a mismatch at nearly every position. So no matter who guards him, Bridges has an advantage. And it was up to Villanova to try to put Bridges in a position where he can succeed with that advantage. And they found it out at the end of the first half. And right here, immediately they go to him.
Co-Big East Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, averaged just shy of 10 a game. His numbers have jumped significantly. He's up nearly 17 points a game. He has 11 here today. Villanova by a point. Just underway in this second half.
And look, you got Bridges guarding Howard. You got Pascal guarding Rousey. You would think those are mismatches, but if those guys stay on their feet, they can have some success.
Rousey with the ball fake. Floater not there. Rebound pulled down by Amari Spellman, who's been quiet today. DiVincenzo kicks it. Bridges fires. And Spellman pulls down the board. Step on the baseline, he did. They got a second chance, but they turn it over, and Jay Wright wants a foul.
On the defensive end, Spellman with an excellent job of staying on his feet, making it more difficult, and forcing Rousey to miss. On the offensive end, he gets an offensive rebound, but he's got to go back strong. Don't pass the ball underneath. He's the biggest, strongest guy out there, one of the biggest guys, certainly probably the strongest. Use it.
Both coaches preaching better defense. Howard springs free, dish to Annam, and the reverse is good. That's 2 rim runs by Sakar Annam that has him on the board.
Well, Marquette just doing an excellent job of moving the ball. You know, they're not standing pat. Guys aren't forcing it. They're finding open men. Look at that, man.
Brunson, so skilled to the rack. Man, 17 for Jalen Brunson.
Did a great job of using that rim to protect him, too, from the block.
Rousey shakes one defender, runs into a wall, and Spellman, though, they got a mismatch now if they want it.
But Spellman stayed on his feet. Rousey thought better of it and kicked it back outside.
Froling kicks it to Howard. Short, right there, Hauser, and they'll set it up again. Rousey, oh, a quick release, can't make the layup. Nova has a chance to add. Marquette's had 2 leads in this game, and Nova's answered on both occasions, and out Brunson to the free throw line.
And that could be number 3 on Marcus Howard. But take a look right here. Mismatch, throwing too high, and doesn't have a low enough center of gravity to stay with Brunson laterally. I don't think he could, even if he was low enough. But the change of direction, utilizing the rim to prevent the block, Jalen Brunson's just showing you everything.
3 on Howard, 3 on Rousey. Brunson hits the first. Saw Jalen's dad, Rick. He's here. The Timberwolves are off today. Rick, his father, is an assistant coach with Tom Thibodeau and the red-hot Timberwolves. They've won 10 in a row. Had a win last night over Brooklyn. And father-son, both McDonald's All-Americans. And Jalen is every bit what his father was, and a chance to be the top player in the Big East. He's making a significant run at Player of the Year in this conference.
And Rick made the unsolicited admission, son's better than he is.
That's right. Always good to see Rick Brunson. What a career he had at Temple. Froling passes up a 3. He can't shoot from out there. And Kane saves it. Shot clock is deep. To 5 it goes. And it's swatted away by Bridges. Look at this defensive stand, and Froling fires a boomerang off the top of the shot clock, and they'll turn it over with a violation.
Yeah, that's outstanding defense by Villanova. And the key element, I keep harping on it, is they stay on their feet. They're not going for the ball fakes, which, you know, a guy like Andrew Rousey has to use in order to get good looks if he's not in a position to catch and shoot. And then you get the deflections from Mikal Bridges. And that's the way Villanova wants to play defense.
Only 1 loss on the year for the Wildcats. That was against Butler. That's going to stay in the possession of Villanova.
And again, you see Villanova targeting. Right now, DiVincenzo's got Rousey on, and DiVincenzo's got about 3 or 4 inch advantage, and they were trying to go to him there.
Jay Wright is in full workup mode on the officials right now. Brunson falls down. Now he's bumped. Adams going to be called for the foul. Brunson was having a hard time getting to his feet. It's going to be the 3rd foul on Adam.
I'm not understanding this crowd. I know you're partisan, but sometimes it's part of the game. When he fell the first time, he put the ball on the floor, so he kept his dribble. And the second time, he was clearly bumped.
You should stand up and make your point to this crowd, Lynn. You know better.
Well, they understand it.
You're back. You're a former Milwaukee Buck. They love you here, Lynn. Going back a while.
Yeah, not many in here remember.
Brunson with the strong hand, the left hand scores over Helt. Beautifully done. Brunson with 21 points. 5-point Nova lead. Marquette, as I mentioned, twice taking the lead. Villanova twice answering quickly. Hauser for 3. Brunson pulls down the board. And Brunson goes right through 2 defenders, gets the friendly roll, and Jalen Brunson is taken over now.
That's 3 times that Jalen Brunson's been able to exploit the heart of the Marquette defense right down the middle.
Villanova off turnovers and Villanova off missed threes will destroy an opponent. That is where they thrive. 8-0 run for the Wildcats. All of it courtesy of Brunson. Now Hauser takes him to the hole, comes up short.
Hauser did everything properly except put it in the basket, probably get a little more elevation on the shot, but he did a nice job taking Brunson right to the front of the cup.
Hauser's been dealing with a sore hip. He's not practicing much these days, and he looked like he had a bit of a flat tire on that one. Brunson goes by Helt, little ball fake, and is fouled. Hits the ground hard. Jalen Brunson, 8-0 run himself on the road at Marquette.
Well, that's the 4th time we saw Brunson again exploit the heart of the defense. And the key element, not only does he beat his man, but he's down the middle. Look how late the help comes. When you come down the middle of the floor, there is no help. Jalen Brunson recognizes that. No help. And Wojo feels helpless.
Downtown Milwaukee. Look at those 3 arenas, Lynn.
All right.
You got the Mecca.
I played here.
Yeah.
We're sitting here, and there is the future.
What a great arena it looks like to be. Bradley Center is going to be taken down, and it's all new, and you get to live all 3 arenas here. I'm very happy about that.
Lord willing, I can live all 3 arenas.
We have to do a game here next year.
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, this is a great atmosphere. Milwaukee's always been a great basketball city, whether it's Marquette or the Milwaukee Bucks. No reason why they can't continue with a brand spanking new arena.
Brunson hits the free throw. Wojciechowski and the Golden Eagles are in serious foul trouble here. Marcus Howard, Sakar Adam, Rousey, Froling, all key contributors and all starters today. 4 of those 5 in foul trouble.
Well, Steve, he's got a dilemma in that, you know, he wants to be able to utilize some of these guys, but he's got to worry, utilize them on the offensive end. He's got to worry, obviously, they get too aggressive and pick up that 4th foul. And on the other end, Villanova so adept at targeting guys.
Howard hits the deck hard. Matt Helt follows. Howard on the attack.
And you appreciate that from Marcus Howard. You know, despite the foul trouble, he's letting it all hang out. Going to try to get as much as he can.
10-0 run snapped with that drive by Howard. Brunson has all 10 of those points, by the way, for Villanova. And Gillespie in there with DiVincenzo now as Brunson rests, and that'll be a carry. It's going the other way. Pascal gives it back.
See, now that time, that was Pascal. I haven't shot the ball often enough. Trying to take a guy one-on-one. Again, instead of recognizing the foul trouble out there with Rousey and Howard to try to work those guys.
This is go time for Marquette with Brunson on the bench. It's blocked by Pascal. I beg your pardon. Cosby Roundtree coming from behind with a tremendous defensive effort.
Well, he's got the length. Once again, he leaves room. And anytime you got a shot blocker and you leave him room, he's got the ability to go after the ball.
Well, that feels like great scouting, great advance work by Villanova. Roundtree knowing that Howard goes to his left hand there when he's on the take. Rousey gets a man in the air, and he'll do it again. Third time today, Rousey has gotten the defender up. He will shoot 3 more from the line. You foul on Cosby Roundtree.
You got to convince guys, how many times are you going to block a jump shooter's shot? That's the first thing. And secondly, with these guys, Andrew Rousey's outstanding shooter. You just want to make them shoot over you. Instead, stay on your feet and lengthen yourself and make them shoot over. Take a look and see if this is a 3 or a 2.
Officials taking a look as well.
Nope, it's a 3.
Behind the line. So Rousey, who is one of the great free throw shooters in college basketball.
See that space right there.
Easy call.
Easy call, but hard for Jay Wright to stomach.
Now Rousey, only Jordan Howard, who is the older brother of Marcus Howard at Central Arkansas, has more three-pointers made among active D1 players. 348 and counting. Marcus Howard and his brother Jordan both averaging up over 20 points per game. Jordan's been a great scorer at Central Arkansas.
You can only imagine the backyard brawls these two probably had one-on-one, playing probably into the darkness of night.
So it will stand, and that'll be 3 free throws. Question is, do you think Marcus senses when Rousey gets close to his older brother with three-point makes, if he starts pulling them in himself? Teammate versus family.
I'm not sure. I think right now, if Rousey's successful, Marcus and team are successful.
Yeah, great point. And those two complement each other so well, Howard and Rousey. Rousey transferred from UNC Asheville. And he's been a great scorer. This is a free throw, which is a headline. Rousey has over 2,000 points in his career now. Last year was the Big East Sixth Man of the Year. Wojciechowski first saw him while Wojo was at Duke. Encouraged him to come to Marquette when he was looking to transfer, and he's been a big scorer the last 2 years. 5-point game, Villanova with the lead in the ball, and their leader, Brunson, is back on the floor.
And Marquette put their better defender, Greg Elliott, long, quick on Jalen Brunson, looking to try to slow him down.
Bridges finds DiVincenzo. Comes up short, Howard the board. Howard, short, didn't have his legs. Brunson, those missed threes are deadly. And Brunson, no, DiVincenzo flying high for the putback.
Outstanding transition, good follow by DiVincenzo, but that quick shot by Howard, you missed that. That's the first pass on the fast break for Villanova. You got to balance your floor a little bit more.
Poked away by Brunson. Running the floor with DiVincenzo. It'll be Brunson, throws it down. Defense to offense. Timeout. Wojo and Marquette. Lead by 9, trying to make it a sweep of Marquette this season. And the Wooden Award watch list, there are 2 Nova Wildcats on that, Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson is emerging as the favorite, as the Big East Player of the Year. And what a sequence we've seen in the second half from him, Lynn.
Absolutely. In my book, he is Player of the Year this year. Leading the break right there, and then just catching Rousey sleeping. How do you sleep on Jalen Brunson?
And his dad, Rick, an assistant with the Timberwolves, gets a rare day off to come watch his son, and he is watching a terrific performance. You see the scoring, 27 for Jalen. 14 of the last 18 points for Villanova have come at the hands of the southpaw.
And that applause from his dad was the old, I fully expect that applause.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Marquette has another run in him. And coming out of that timeout, it's going to be an offensive foul. Marcus Howard has picked up his 4th foul. And with 13 minutes left in this game, that is 5 team fouls on Marquette. Wow. Worst case scenario for Marquette.
It's almost the most difficult one to avoid for Marcus Howard on that weave, but nevertheless should have and could have avoided the contact. But BA, you and I were talking during the break, Marquette may have a run left in them, but it's going to be very difficult without Marcus Howard on the floor.
Yeah, Howard has missed his last 6. That was blocked by Hauser. Wasn't even looking at it. Got a piece of it. Rousey, quick fire. And a bad shot. That's an early miss in the shot clock. And now Villanova with Gillespie. No. Pascal kicks it. Brunson for 3. Too strong. And Hauser with the rebound. Pascal called for the foul. Gives us a chance to hear from Shannon. She got a chance to listen in to Wojo that last time out.
Well, yeah, guys, it was pretty simple. Wojo just telling his guys to stick to what they know. He said, what have we learned in the past? It's all about ball movement. Really urging his guys to stick to that and to move that ball.
But when they had success, particularly in the first half, that's what it was about. Not only ball movement, but movement without it. And they were able to go on a nice run, confusing the Villanova defense. But when they come down, one pass or no passes and a shot, you know, that's a recipe for disaster.
Foul's going to belong to Gillespie, trying to root out Harry Froling as Marquette got a mismatch inside. You know, Marquette's offense, they are a great three-point shooting team, among the best in the nation, but it is all predicated on them getting to the basket. The pitch, the penetrating pitch is Adams on the set play, gets the inbounds.
That's excellent execution by Marquette, but not often do you see Villanova turn their heads on the ball and miss that.
Good point. Best defensive team in the Big East, Villanova. Adam tries to check Brunson. Here's Gillespie. And Gillespie had it right on line. Can't get it to go. Shot looked good, though. He's missed a couple. Rousey gets a double team. Almost a turnover. And it is a turnover.
One-handed pass, no look by Hauser at this time of the game. I feel you, Steve. I hear you.
Villanova, Marquette in Milwaukee. Coming down to the home stretch. Nova with the lead.
Get it done. Carson Edwards is a nice surprise, but Haas is a guy that's really stepped up, as you saw those numbers right there, right in the middle of it. Figuratively as well as literally.
Terrific matchup in the Big Ten following our Big East matchup here to start a great day of hoops, and a turnover coming out of the timeout. Bridges coughs it up. Marquette in need of a run here, down 7. Marcus Howard is on the bench with 4 fouls. Rousey playing with 3 fouls. Adam goes to the hole with a reverse. No. Spellman the rebound.
That's much better ball movement and good challenge. Adam just missed it.
Looked like Hauser got a hand on that Brunson take. Brunson is limping. He went down hard. That's the second time he's come up hobbled. Froling dumps it off. Adams with the reverse.
And as Shannon told us, Steve Wojciechowski urged his guys to go back to what's successful for them. And you saw it right there. Movement without it. Passers with patience finding the open man.
Brunson's hurt. Raised his hand. Needs to come out. Timeout Villanova. Oh, just buckled his left knee when he landed.
He hits the deck so often.
Such an awkward landing. In the first half, he hit the deck, came up hobbled. Looked like he might have rolled an ankle on a three-point attempt. Stepped on an opponent player. Or an opponent's foot, I should say. Jeff Pierce, the athletic trainer for Villanova, giving some attention to Brunson. They're already without Phil Booth. Fractured hand. Not available for a while. DiVincenzo got the start today, and he buries the 3. DiVincenzo with 15. He scored 10 in the first 4 minutes of this game.
I'm sure with Jalen Brunson on the side with that injury, yes, guys are going to step up for Villanova, but Jay Wright's got to be thinking, how many more?
Hauser gives it to Adam, and there he is again. That's been a familiar hookup this game. Sakar Adam with 10.
Outstanding fundamental pass by Hauser. The bounce pass, and once again, Adam cut into the spot. We've seen him do that on a number of occasions.
Gillespie running the point, the freshman. Pascal, got to respect his three-point shooting. Froling staying right with him. Gillespie gets himself in trouble. Now Bridges for three. Yes, sir. Mikal Bridges. Two big hits for Villanova from DiVincenzo and Bridges. While Brunson continues to get treatment on that knee. That is a scary sight for Villanova fans. Here's Hauser now. Hauser going along with Pascal on him. Gets out to go.
Talked about patience, not only by passers, but obviously offensive players. You're seeing a different Marquette team right now as opposed to several minutes ago when it was pushed, one quick pass or no pass at all and a quick shot, which played right into Villanova's hands.
Nova leads by 7. Under 9 to go in regulation. Spellman running into a wall. Now gets himself some space. Can't get it. Kane with a board. Here comes Marquette. Kane. And dribbles it off the foot of Bridges. It's going to be a foul on Nova. And Brunson is set to return, which is a very welcome sight for Nova Nation. First half, Lynn, we saw Brunson on a three-point attempt come down on the foot of Theo John. That was left ankle. And then just a moment ago, watch the left knee in an awkward landing on the drive to the basket.
And there's also been innumerable times when he has dove on the floor for balls, when he has gone up for rebounds or drives and hit the deck after the make.
Froling turns it over. And a whistle on the floor as DiVincenzo goes to the basket.
And remember, we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, DiVincenzo, the energizer guy. This young man continues to challenge constantly. I mean, he'll get the open shots on catch and shoots, but when he's handling it, he's going to put pressure on the defense, as we saw right there.
Rousey on him. Rousey with 3 fouls, though. DiVincenzo with the left hand.
Right on cue.
Pretty. And now DiVincenzo and Rousey mouthing a little bit. I think DiVincenzo hit the basketball.
Yeah. It's called for a delay of game, a warning. And that's all you need is one warning. After that, the next one, get teed.
Villanova switching on defense. There's Kane now. Brunson hobbled. You figured Marquette would try to exploit Brunson a little bit just to see how he is. There's a long-range missile from Rousey up in the rafters. 21 for Andrew Rousey.
And sometimes you got to live with those. You know, way beyond the three-point line. You know, you get your hands up and you got to hope that he's not going to make it.
Top 2 three-point shooting teams in the Big East.
Because it's kind of against defensive principles to go out there and challenge a shooter that far out.
Brunson, strong to the hole, comes up short. Rousey, looking for someone, gives it to Adam. Finds Rousey, he's open. Three-pointer is up, and three-pointer is good. DiVincenzo trying to quiet him down. Doesn't get the bounce. That's going to be Marquette ball. Andrew Rousey, back-to-back possessions with long-range threes.
This success has come by not forcing it, Right there, just off the bounce, uses a screen and gets to a spot where he can find daylight. And here, playing with his teammate.
Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Progressive, your first round pick for car insurance. High intensity matchup here in the Big East. A moment ago, we heard from Steve Wojciechowski in the Marquette huddle.
Keep competing. Great drive. Did it come back to you? That's right. It's going to come back. Once they switch off, those big guys are going to get lost. Let these guys create for you, too. You don't have to create everything yourself. Great offense.
Well, absolutely. Andrew Rousey's been the beneficiary of other guys creating for him. Now, certainly he starts out by getting it off the bounce. But when his teammates play with him, he moves without it, particularly when Villanova switches their bigs off on him. As Wojo said, those bigs get lost, Rousey gets the daylight. 24 points, 14 in the second half, including 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. And overall, 17 assists for Marquette on 26 field goals. They have been moving the ball, moving without it, and as Wojo said, excellent defense offense.
And Annam out of the timeout delivers again for Marquette. Sakar Annam out of Minneapolis with 12. It's a 1-point game. Marquette was down 17 last year to Villanova in this gym. Came back and beat the then #1 Wildcats. Brunson with the offhand, the right hand scores at the rim. Man, he is so impressive.
Matt helped, just not quick enough, but Villanova relying on one guy. They've only got 6 assists on 26 field goals, so they haven't exactly been popping the ball around.
Elliott to Annam. Annam looking for help. Nice jump in the lane there by DiVincenzo. Sniffed it out. DiVincenzo to the rack. Gets room and count it. And 1 for Dante DiVincenzo.
We talk a lot about Villanova knocking down threes, but they are continually challenging. And that's the challenger right there, as I've said. Dante DiVincenzo will not give the defense a play off.
Well, when you need baskets, Phil Booth is out. He's hurt, fractured hand, going to be out for a while, maybe till the Big East tournament. You rely on guys like Bridges and DiVincenzo and Brunson, and that's what makes Villanova so great. They have multiple weapons. Every Marquette run has been answered by the Wildcats. They are back up 6. Marcus Howard back on the floor, playing with 4 fouls. Step back 3. Short. Bridges the rebound.
Much better job, as I mentioned, of staying on your feet, using your length to challenge Howard and to a certain extent Rousey. When they get you off your feet and off balance, you're dead meat.
Howard having a tough shooting run now on the floor. He's 0 for his last 7. Got off to a good start, made a couple of threes in the first half. Here's Bridges, rises up high over Howard and delivers the jumper. It's been Brunson, DiVincenzo, Bridges. Last 3 possessions. Villanova on a 7-0 run. They're back up 8.
There's a switch right there.
Annam. Howard passes the 3. On the take. Acrobatic shot. Annam the board. And the putback.
Talk about acrobatic. Where did Annam come from?
14 points for Sakar Annam. And doing it all in the dirty zone.
And the flip side of it is, even though not successful going to the basket, when Marquette challenges, gets the Villanova defense scrambling, they can hit the offensive glass. That's 14 second chance points.
Rousey picks it over to Hauser. A steal. Rousey on the take. No. Bridges the rebound. It's good defense by Pascal there. Gave him a little contact, but he kept shuffling his feet backwards, and Rousey had nothing to use his leverage off of. Under 4 minutes to go. Double team comes for Brunson. Bridges, 3-pointer. Hauser the rebound.
Bridges probably wants that one back, that opportunity to drive to the basket. No one in the paint, and Froling not quick enough.
Inside to Froling, good catch, good finish, and one!
Quick enough on that end, though.
Timeout. Froling will have a free throw and a chance at a three-point trip for the Golden Eagles.
Well, we said he presents a new added dynamic inside. Screen and roll, they can't contend.
Well, Kevin, thank you. And here it has been a blast. 80-76. Villanova has the lead. We take you back last year, January 24, 2017. Caden Reinhardt hit a key three. Remember, Marquette was down big, came back with a three-pointer, and then with 11 seconds left, Reinhardt was fouled, made two free throws. Villanova had a couple of chances to tie. Jalen Brunson missed the layup. Darrell Reynolds couldn't convert. Marquette with their most significant win in program history in the regular season as they beat #1 Villanova. First time ever Marquette has beaten a #1 team in the regular season, and that, coupled with the win against Xavier at the end of the year, propelled Marquette to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it was a nice feeling to be able to knock off a Villanova, and it kind of propelled them. And speaking of propelling them, the success Harry Froling's had, 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points, and a first double-digit scoring game of the season. He's starting to play with a great deal of confidence, and that could certainly change Marquette's attack for the better.
Brunson backing down Annam. Annam right there on him, and a foul. Brunson is a fantastic back-to-the-basket guard, and even with the much taller Annam on him, he draws the foul, and he'll shoot a pair.
Well, he took his time because he's waiting to see what the defense would do. Would they come? Would they help? And he was ready to deliver to somebody whose man would leave them and be wide open, but no one came. And so he decided to take it upon himself.
Brunson has 30 now. Marcus Howard returns, still playing with the 4 fouls. Jamal Cain will sit. Jalen Brunson in this second half has scored 15. 5 for 9 from the field. He's made all 5 of his free throws. And he hits them both. 31 points for Brunson, who has hit the deck hard twice. Once with an ankle, the other with a knee. Gutty performance. Marquette down 5. Shot clock to 12. Here is Hauser. He pulls up. Too much. And the rebound is wrestled down by Pascal. Great defensive stand for Villanova.
Absolutely. One of the things that hurt Marquette was on the high screen, the big didn't switch out on Rousey. That's what they were looking for, that kind of mismatch. Never got it as Brunson fought through the screen.
Villanova is the top scoring team in the Big East. They are 3rd in opponents' points per game. That's going to be a travel. Pascal, too many steps. And a Villanova turnover.
That's just good defense also by Froling, who took Pascal's path away to the basket, and Pascal wound up stumbling.
Froling has a career high, 11 points. Remember, Marcus Howard for Marquette has missed his last 7. Rousey with DiVincenzo had a block. What a terrific defensive effort by Dante DiVincenzo. Even with the quick release of Rousey, DiVincenzo is there.
DiVincenzo, against the quick release, had a quicker jump.
Villanova putting the clamps down defensively right now. Annam still on Brunson. Step back. Here's DiVincenzo. No. Howard the board. In transition comes Marquette. And Howard is fouled. So smart. Demir Cosby-Roundtree with a couple of fouls in this game that shows you he is a freshman. He is going to be a terrific player. He's already an excellent defender. But he has been veteraned in this game twice.
And we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, the loss of Phil Booth has forced freshmen like Cosby Roundtree as well as Gillespie to log more minutes. And whether they can handle the burden or not remain to be seen. You know, right now the reviews are mixed.
Phil Booth fracturing that hand late in the second half, the last game against Providence, and Howard misses a free throw.
You're going to remember where you are.
He had made 66 in a row going back to last year before he missed against Xavier on Wednesday. And DiVincenzo on the cut. He's fouled by Rousey, who picks up his fourth.
You know, like I said, there are certain seminal events that you remember where you were like years later.
This is one of them. Howard missed free throw. It's only the third miss all year. And now Rousey and Howard with 4 fouls and 1:40 to go. Villanova chance to add to their lead. They're up 5. 1-1. DiVincenzo hits a first. Howard leads the nation in free throw percentage. First trip to the line today. So not only has he missed his last 7 field goal attempts, he's also missed his only free throw attempt. 1 out of 2 for DiVincenzo. 2-possession game. 1.5 minutes to go in Milwaukee. Rousey for 3. Bam!
That time, no hand up. Rousey sized it up perfectly.
27 for Rousey. Jay Wright and the Cats go back to the drawing board. A 1-possession game with 1:19 left at the Bradley Center.
Well, off the bounce, Rousey's going to take it to a spot that he's very comfortable with. It looked like it was going to fake a screen, and Brunson was anticipating it, and Rousey went in the opposite direction. That's what gave him the daylight, and all Rousey needs is a sliver.
83-80. Game reset sponsored by SoFi, rethinking personal finance. And you see the numbers. 2 timeouts apiece. Foul situation has each in the bonus. Possession arrow belongs to Villanova on a held ball. Jalen Brunson with 31. Andrew Rousey in the second half alone has 17. He's hit 4 threes in the second half. 27 overall for Rousey.
And what a luxury to have a guy like Dante DiVincenzo, who has a habit of challenging defenses. Villanova's going to work some clock, but both Brunson and DiVincenzo can really put pressure on the defense off the bounce.
This is where all that experience matters. Brunson with Hauser on him. Brunson rises up, can't hit. Kane with a board. Marquette with a chance under a minute. Rousey in the corner. Elliott gives it up. Oh, what play by Bridges. Wow. What a great defensive play by Mikal Bridges.
Steve Wojciechowski's saying back off. Still got time. 16-second differential. You don't have to foul.
Brunson will let it tick. Goes to work now. Shot clock at 7. With Hauser on him. Brunson, step back 3. Can't get the bounce. Oh, Bridges again. To DiVincenzo, who scores. Mikal Bridges. 2 huge plays. Hauser for 3. DiVincenzo the board, and Villanova has a chance to close this one out.
My, oh my.
In a game full of offense, Len, it's a defensive play and an offensive rebound that is going to be the difference.
Look at the length. Bridges with that strip. He gets all ball too, and you can tell by the way Adams' hands went after the ball was taken, and the rebounds right here, just beats his man to the spot, even though he wasn't blocked out, and that was a breakdown by Marquette.
DiVincenzo misses the first. Well, Bridges is on that Wooden Award watch list for a reason. Second best scorer, but he does all the little things as well, and he is one of the best defenders in the Big East. Missed them both. Clock's going to wind out, and Villanova is going to hold on to win this one. So a quick timeout, 0.2 left. Nothing Marquette can do with this. Despite being only down 3, it just takes one bit of contact and the clock will expire.
Well, certainly if I'm Steve Wojciechowski, I ask the officials to review it, make sure, because you need at least one more tenth of a second in order to get a real shot off. And even then, it's virtually impossible to be able to wind up and shoot a 3. But take a look at Bridges to the side, just not blocked out. Jamal Cain didn't do a good enough job blocking out. Some people may think it was a push-off, but right there, both of those guys equally entitled to the ball since there was no attempt to block him out.
How about the awareness, too, to quickly get a bounce pass to DiVincenzo, all in one motion.
Yeah, that bucket, you know, created a situation where the free throws for Marquette had, or I'm sorry, the free throws didn't have to be made. Although, again, you could have pulled it back out and worked some clock.
Before we get to the finish line here, you see the coaches wearing the tennis shoes. It is Coaches versus Cancer Week, and all the coaching staff in their suits and sneakers to try to raise awareness, fundraising for cancer research. And we want to send a quick little shout out here for Jay Wright. His good friend Pete Lamb from Council Rock High School, they were teammates, diagnosed in September. He passed away yesterday in New Jersey. And Jay wanted to send out his best to Pete's wife, Mary Sue, the whole family, and we certainly send our condolences as well. Jay Wright losing a close friend. And that's going to do it. Thrilling game comes to an end. Jay Wright and the Villanova Wildcats stand tall, however. And the #1 team in the nation, Len, win it on the road.
Well, this is what #1 teams in the nation do. They find a way to win, even when they're not operating on full cylinder. And the loss of Phil Booth severely challenged the depth of Villanova, but they found guys that step up and get the job done.
Great work by our crew here, led in the truck by Aaron Stoikov and Rich Russo. And the Villanova Wildcats behind Jalen Brunson win on the road and go to 20-1. That's the story from Milwaukee. After the break, we go to Kevin Burkhardt and company in our Los Angeles studio.